Ian Barsegle, the one with the two-set method. You either love him or you hate him. You either glaze him, you stroke his cock in every single conversation with your calisthenics buddies. Like, oh,
185 centimeters, 95 kilograms, he can do dips, pull-ups, full planches, I'm gonna bust!
or you hate him, he's your worst enemy, and you say that 2 sets isn't enough, because it's just 2 sets. It doesn't really matter which ones of those 2 people are you, but I highly suggest watching this video, because I'm going to educate you about the pros and cons, which there are quite a lot, about the 2-set method and how to upgrade it. What exact steps should you take right now, whether if you are following the 2-set method or if you are not, that if you implement into your training will skyrocket your progress. Completely for free in this video. You don't even need to buy my product. And if you are like, what does this random ass kid on YouTube know about calisthenics and street lifting? Let me set the stage, because I think my results are pretty much even better than Ian Barsegle's. I will let you be the judge. But if you know me, skip to this part of the video so you don't see me glazing myself for about a minute. So in order for Ian to have at least some chance of competing with me, let's exclude the facts that I'm 16 years old and he's like 20 something, 21, 22, in his like lifetime peak energy levels, and that I have been training for only 5 years compared to him training for at least 6 or 7 or 8, maybe even now. And I've been only training with the strategy that I'm going to teach you for only around 3 years. And we are going to be comparing relative strength. Relative strength is the strength to your body weight, the amount of weight you lift to your body weight. This is going to only apply for weighted dips and weighted pull-ups, not for skills and stuff like that. Ian did 10 dips with 100 kilograms. Well, I would say 0 dips because none of them are competition technique. That's why he doesn't compete. What he does wrong is the weight barely moves. You need to get your hips like this below the dip bar, which he definitely doesn't do. This is how a regular dip with proper competition technique looks like. I go really deep and make sure to get my hips below the bar so nobody can shit on me. And it's way easier to just pump them out, and it's a lot more difficult to stay on top in between each one of these reps. So let's say his actual PR, if he went deep and went completely up, is around 6 or 7. My PR with 100 dips is 6 reps. So that's quite even. Maybe Ian Barsegle wins, because he's doing it without elbow sleeves that also help you a little bit. Now pull-ups. The only max I found him do is 70 kilograms for 5 reps. My 5 rep max is 55 kilograms. I compete at 66 kilograms in that weight class, but when I did the pull-up PR of those 5 reps, I weighed around 66, 67, maybe even 68. And to figure out which one of these is more impressive, you divide the 70, which is the kilograms Ian lifted, divided by his body weight, 95 kilograms. You get 0.73. He is lifting 0.73 or 73% of his body weight for 5 reps. 73% of my body weight, 67, that I'm going to use, is, drumroll, 49. So a lot less than the actual 55 I lifted. And if you are talking about no dip muscle ups, that's what he's known for. I've been doing that since I was 14, so that isn't that impressive. And the full planche, which he can't do.
So now I'm gonna conquer calisthenics.
I did that when I was 14 for about 10 seconds, but I skipped legs. Now when I don't skip legs, I can only hold it for about 6 seconds. And when it comes to the poverty front lever he can compare himself to 12-year-old me. Or with 13-year-old me that hold the front lever for about 17 seconds. Or if you want to talk front lever pull-ups, this is what my front lever pull-ups looked like when I was 14. So they are pretty similar. And I also have a side quest of bench press. I bench 148 kilograms with competition technique. And if you are talking about god level genetics, well, this is how I looked like 1.5 years after starting working out. And when I started working out, I could do 1 pull-up, like chin up. I couldn't do a dip for 1.5 years after starting training, and I could do 5 push-ups, and I was skinny as hell, and I weighed about 35 kilograms. So his results are completely underwhelming. So I will stop glazing myself and I will give you the value, because I don't want this video to be like Ian's, which is 10% ChatGPT value, 50% self-glaze, and 40% selling you the two-set method or the other worthless product. The pros are that the two-set method is the most effective and the most anabolic training method you could possibly use, because world-class powerlifters also use it, and also my 14-year-old brother. And that is mainly because of the low volume and high intensity. That is an amazing strategy for training for 3 reasons. The first reason is because of really fast recovery. There is a big difference between doing low volume workouts and high volume workouts. When you do high volume workouts, volume essentially means the amount of reps you did in a workout, you are going to be sore for days even. But if you do low volume, high intensity, you are not that sore, but you gain a lot of strength. The second reason is because of high CNS adaptation. CNS adaptation is central nervous system adaptation, which in summary is your brain can send more signals to your muscles, so that allows your muscles to lift more weight without getting any bigger, which is what you want as a street lifting athlete. You want to have as much usable muscle as possible. You don't want to be a huge bodybuilder that isn't actually that strong. And the third reason is that it is amazing for beginners. It allows you to utilize your newbie gains to the highest potential level. But why do I say only for beginners? You will see later. Now let's get into the cons. Ian Barsegle is kind of stupid, I will say. His one of the biggest arguments he has is that when doing couple sets, like the 2 sets of pull-ups, you already trained 95% of the back in the pull-up. Yes, you did. But are you stupid? That's the reason why you do support exercises. That's why after doing pull-ups, you do variations, you do T-bar rows, if you are weak at the top part of the pull-up, like me, you add weight and you do just the top part. If you are bad at the muscle-up transition, you spam the transition. Do explosive pull-ups, do variations of the movement. Like Olympic athletes, the one with the clean and jerk, the snatch, they have around 60 support exercises for the stupid snatch. They do it from the top here, they have it on a rack like this, so they do only the top part, or they have resistance bands, so it's harder on the top part. So they practice the transition, then they do just the transition, then they do exercises with cables, then they do negative snatches. Like they have so many sport exercises, and Ian Barsegle would say, you just need to do 2 sets of the snatch and that's it. No, because if it worked like that, all of the Olympic athletes will be doing that for years by now. But they are just not, because it's not the most effective method. I will explain the details about this later. The next thing is that the rep range is fucked. He tells you to do from 12 to 17 reps. And every guy that isn't just stupid, you don't need to buy a program for this. You don't need to dig into research like I did for 5 years. Because whilst training, I didn't only train and watch YouTube videos, I actually studied.
I studied, bro.
Because I planned to have a YouTube channel since I was 11 years old. So I know this shit. And I also know that you don't need to be a geek and study to know that the most optimal rep range for strength is 1 to 6 reps. 6 reps and more, start getting more into hypertrophy, which is training for muscle. So if you want muscle, train 6 reps to around 30. If you want strength, if you want to be strong as fuck, train from the rep range of literally 1 rep to 6 reps. None of this 12 to 17 rep bullshit. No, it doesn't work like that. Ian Barsegle can't bend science. Ian Barsegle can't change what is said in the neurological biology or whatever that is inside of your body, programmed since you were born. And the third and final reason, the nail in the coffin, it is that it's absolutely unsustainable. It's only good for newbie gains. I have countless of people in real life, like my real life friends, tried out the 2-set method. They bought his stupid program, People from my YouTube channel, my subscribers, bought his program before discovering me, and then they were talking about in my comments, I will definitely find some comments, put them on the screen or whatever, and they were telling me like, I made super fast progress for 3 months, like 3 months is what I hear, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 4 months, 2 months maybe even. And then it stopped. Why? Why did it stop? Like, I thought that it was because of me, so I trained harder. This is one of my subscribers that come here to train with me told me like, I thought I was the problem. I optimized my testosterone diet and the weights moved a little bit. But then I discovered your special strategy, and my progress went through the roof. And Ian Barsegle, he knows about this stuff. That's why if you look at testimonials, it's only 3 months transformation, 1 month transformation from beginners. He thinks he is newbie gains, like bro thinks he's newbie gains. No, he isn't. One of my friends, which is right now also one of my clients, he started training and he could do 5 to 10 pull-ups. He was strong when he started training. And no workout program, no work ethic, shit diet, shit sleep, shit everything went in the span of half a year from a 0 kilogram weighted pull-up or a 5 kilogram weighted pull-up to a 70 kilogram weighted pull-up. No two-set method, not my strategy, not any other strategy, not the powerlifting periodization method, none of this stuff. Just by showing up, going, lifting the weights, doing some support exercises, doing what he liked, taking rest when he wanted, just like this. So let me tell you, you need to follow any workout program since the beginning and you will make almost the exact same progress whilst following basically anything else. Just don't fuck yourself up, don't get injured. And at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that powerlifters use this method because it's really, really good. They use it, I don't want to get like too sciencey, you probably won't understand it, I hope you do, because it will really help you. Powerlifters use it in the 3rd week of a competition preparation in their training block. 3rd week of their training block. Probably don't know what that is, I will explain it. In powerlifting and in any sport where you want to gain strength, there is something known as periodization. Periodization, I don't know, you just split your training into periods, weeks, blocks and cycles, those are called like that. One cycle usually consists of 3 to 6 blocks, and one block consists of 3 to 5 weeks, most commonly 4. And in these blocks, I'm going to explain later, bro, don't get confused, is important something known as varied stimuli. That is, that you vary the stimulation, you vary the support exercises, you vary the RPE, the range of perceived exertion, the rep ranges, the set ranges, all of these different things. Because you can't just blast 2 sets of 12 reps forever. No, your body is going to get used to this. Your body is this annoying ass motherfucker that's constantly adapting to what you give it. You can't do 2 sets of 12 reps. You can't even do 3x3s, which is my favorite rep and set range for training. You can't do that constantly. You can't do that week by week and expecting linear progress. You need to vary it. That's what I'm going to teach you. So the key takeaway, listen up. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Not going to try to overwhelm you with sciencey terms. I'm going to tell you, in summary, the training plan for one block. One block which consists of 4 weeks. These blocks also vary from block to another, but this is probably way too advanced for you. But in the 4th week block, week 1 is completely the opposite of the 2-set method. You do high volume, low intensity. Going to try to speak slow so you understand. And also low RPE, so don't do sets to failure. RPE around 6 to 7. Then week 2, you decrease the volume and increase the intensity. So it is moderate intensity and moderate volume. Increase the RPE a bit more. Whilst going through these, you are going to do less total sets and less reps. So less volume. For the 3rd week, you crank up the intensity to the max, RPE 10, 12, and keep the volume minimal, like the 2-set method. And you do the least amount of sets And not like the least amount of reps, you need to keep it like slightly above 3, but you only keep it, I saw this, 2 sets. 2-set method mentioned. Finally, you've been waiting for this. So you do only 2 sets for around 3 to 5 reps with the max intensity. And then the 4th week is a deload week where you keep both intensity and volume low. And if you want to know what should you do in the exact same days, because I only told you what like rep ranges, RPE, stuff like that you should do in the week, but what should you do in the workout program? What should you do in the day? What exercises? What support exercises? What all of these different things? You can check out this video, which is the most viewed video on my YouTube channel, where I tell it's called like how to outcompete 99% of calisthenics athletes, which is with the special method, the powerlifting method essentially, of training in the day. I completely explain how you do that, why you also don't do the 2-set method, and I also give you a full example for the full planche that I used to get myself, whilst having pretty heavy, strong and large legs, to a 6-second planche. So go and check that out. And if you want this periodization explained, plus optimizing your testosterone, designing your own workout split in detail, CNS adaptation, building an aesthetic body for women with just calisthenics in your room, all of these things, you can check out Calisthenics School, link in the description, is so affordable. You also get one-on-one calls with me, basically entire coaching. So if you want to make your progress 10 times faster, want something affordable, something no BS, check that out. And if you don't want to buy that, you don't need to. I make high quality videos like this one on my YouTube channel. I'll probably make another video about periodization if you guys want that. So make sure to subscribe, comment, I want a video about periodization so I don't need to buy your program. Comment that, we'll probably make it. Also check out my Instagram if you want to see my daily life, what I do, how I train, so you know that I'm not doing the 2-set method behind the scenes whilst teaching something completely different. Go and check it out. Take care, bro. You got this.